All right, guys, welcome to another Super Smith Bros production. Today we are talking about ArcheAge from two perspectives. I am here with my brother DRS as always. What's up, Dylan?
Nothing much. Just yeah.
Okay.
It was a very important announcement for me.
Yeah, right. So today we're going to be talking about ArcheAge, and I think we're just doing character customization today, right?
Yeah, it's just we're gonna be running through the character customization, what you can do, the different classes, and a little bit of combat and some questing.
Okay, very cool. So Dylan wanted me to be on this video because I'm not a fan of MMORPGs for the most part. I mean, my opinion has changed a little bit with Guild Wars. I love Guild Wars. So yeah, this is supposedly the big new innovative MMO that's going to be coming out right now. It's an alpha. Dylan actually paid a ridiculous amount of money to get into the alpha. I've signed up for the beta, so when it goes to beta, hopefully I'll get to play it. But yeah, we're gonna check it out. Dylan, tell us a little bit more about the background of ArcheAge.
Um, I don't know a whole lot about the background. That's the sad part, is because most of this is still in translation by Treon Worlds from Korean. So this is a Korean-made game. Everything's in Korean still, as you'll see later in the video. So the background and the story, I don't know a whole lot about, and that's kind of cool because I am playing through alpha and I am interested in playing this game. So it's kind of nice that I'm not getting spoilers while I'm playing through the alpha to show you guys.
All right, cool. So we're looking at the character customization screen right now. These are just the base classes or base races, from
Yes,
what I
these are all
understand.
the different races, and all of them have two different abilities. Like the humans, they're good at building like castles and houses, as you just saw the new wine, or however you say that. And then you have the elves, which are good at breathing underwater and swim speed. These are the cat guys that can climb trees faster and don't take as much fall damage. And then you have farmers, which you'll see in a second here, which are good at farming.
All right, so we have the Nuayan, the elf, the what the fuck, the Faran, and Harani. I hope they changed those names.
They won't though. It's a Korean made game, and they're trying to keep it as
Korean as
close,
possible.
yes, as close to it as possible. And the reason why is so whenever they add in patches in Korea, that it's going to be the easiest port over to the US, so they don't have to change too much. So they're trying to keep it as basic as possible. But here you can see the actual character customization. You don't get to change anything on the body too much, but you get to do a full facial, whatever you want your guy to look like. Like I make him the afro.
Afro cut. It's kind of cool because I mean a lot of games don't allow you to make many changes to the body. That's one of the things I love about Guild Wars. Not that we're going to keep comparing this to Guild Wars. It's an entirely different game. But it's pretty common for an RPG to only let you customize the face because depending on your class and things like that, your armor will change as the game progresses. So that's nothing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not. There's a lot of different armors in the game too that you can get a lot of customization out. There's actually costumes, and the costumes in this game actually give you stats. So
Now, depending on what race you've selected, does it change the options for hairstyles and eyebrows and things like
it
that?
does. It does. It changes it completely. There you'll see a couple things that are the same, such as like whenever you get down to the paints, which is different types of scars and face paints and stuff. Those are generally the same, but for the most part, they're all different.
That's pretty cool. I like the art style already. It's kind of interesting. It's got like a definitely has an Asian influence to it. You can tell. Um, it looks. I mean, it looks interesting. Yeah. I don't. The graphics are actually quite good so far for a character customization in a game that's an alpha.
Yeah, this game's very impressive for being an alpha. Actually, they could probably release it right now and do just fine. I'm glad that they're taking the time to really make sure that everything's completely polished before they release it, though. That's really nice. But the character customization, I mean, it's pretty average, but I do like some of the features they give you. As you can see, I'm about to put a scar on him, and you're able to move that around his face, so you can just move that however you want.
Oh, cool! It's like taking me back to like WWE 2K14 type of stuff. I
Yeah,
had the
you can change
scars
the
and
sizing and everything else. So
kind of looks like Avatar a little bit with the blue. It's
yeah,
interesting though. It's definitely a different set of races than what we're used to in standard RPGs. So I'm already kind of interested to see what. And I'm assuming there's some kind of background origin type of deal for all these guys.
yeah, there is, but like I said, it's still in a huge translation. Treon Worlds has a lot cut out for them. They have a lot to do. Um, as far as translating this game. They've counted over 1 million words that they've translated and then counting. Now, here's the skill sets. This is the interesting part, because all these skill sets, you get to choose what you want to start with, but nothing is set in stone. You can change this at any time and become something completely different. And you also get to pick 3 of these throughout the game. And at different levels, you get to add on more. And after you pick your 3, that kicks out what your class actually is.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, you could tell they're basic. They're pretty basic ideas. It looks like Battle Rage would be like your warrior build. Sorcery is obviously going to be your magic mana build. Archery is going to be a ranged attack. Vitalism is going to be your healer. Occultism is going to be like a necromancer warlock type of character. And what's the last one doing?
It's
Shadow
shadow
play.
play.
So it's that's your rogue.
Yeah, and actually, my main character that you saw in the beginning with the little cloak is a rogue, and I think that they did a fantastic job, because you're not limited to just range and you're not limited to just melee. You do a little bit of both, and you're actually pretty potent in both of those. So it's kind of neat that you can be strong in all areas.
That kind of innovation is really needed in MMOs too to make them more interesting, especially for me because it's one of the reasons I don't play them too much. Is like we always go back to World of Warcraft. When you go back to like World of Warcraft, your character customization is somewhat limited based on what you chose.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
and
it's
anybody who's a Magic fan knows what I'm going for with the names. If you like the legendary Eldrazi's,
yeah. I didn't play that block, so I have no idea what you are.
oh, it's awesome. It's an awesome game. You should have played it.
You named your his outrider is called Kojima. His sorcery is Hideo.
Yep.
You're a fan of Metal Gear, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I use that name a lot actually for my MMOs, because I suck at making names. As you can see, it took me like fucking 2 minutes to think of something to type in. So
Just ever name them Dylan or DRS or Dylan Smith or something. I always do that with my guys because I think my name's cool. And we can't read Korean, so
I clicked through that obviously. The whole cutscene thing is still in Korean, so we're waiting for that. And as you can see, I'm showing you that it gives you like a little hint each time you log in, which is kind of nice, because the game is actually, there's a big learning curve to it. It's going to take you a while to figure out how to do everything. It took me, my character's level 21, and that's about the point that I started feeling like I actually understood what the game was doing.
interesting. I like the imagery here with the dragon. I hope that implies that crazy epic shit is going to happen.
There is crazy epic shit that happens. A lot of it is in the cutscenes that are in Korean right now, though, so that's kind of sad. But you can see right now it's a pretty typical setup for an MMO.
Yeah, it's very it's in alpha, so I mean, it's not fair to judge anything right now as far as graphics go, but yeah, it looks pretty standard.
It is. It's fairly standard. The world is gorgeous, though. I love the way they made the world. I love how a lot of things in the world are actually interactive. You can actually go up and pick up some plants that are out there that there's no way to track them, like in other games where you're going to track to go find these plants that come up on your map and then you just pick them up. You actually have to know what you're dealing with and go find it.
Huh. So, looking at your skill bars down at the bottom, Dylan, you've played a lot of other MMOs. What do you think about the way it's set up in this game? I mean, is it easier to use, or is it more involved? What's the, tell us about the overall combat system in general.
Well,
Actually,
you're about to actually see it, and the combat system at first is very bland. It's very just, as you can see, I'm just going to click, and that's all I'm doing is just clicking on these spells. And it's pretty cookie cutter, but after you start getting more spells and developing your character in different classes, because like right now I'm the battle rage, and I could go in and choose vitalism and make a kind of warriory healer, which is kind of cool. You can really do whatever you want. You can have a full plate mail, heavy armor, two-handed wielding mage if you want. So you can do whatever you want with your class, and as you develop through there, you get something called combos, which you'll see a little bit later on after I get my second spell, which comes on fairly quickly. And the combos are really what make the game, because it's almost like a Dragon Age effect to an extent. As you cast a spell, there are other spells and abilities that you will have that will combo with that, and you have to learn your combos and figure out what goes good with what and what rotation you should use to get the best combos.
interesting. So far I've noticed a giant cat and a big panda-looking thing. What is that about?
I don't know a whole lot. I didn't really look a lot of these character models and stuff. I was kind of just running through and trying to show you some stuff. These are little snow lines that people put out that they're trying to raise. So
So like there's actually a farming system where you can actually raise like for, and I don't know, cattle, I mean, for example, and like plants and things?
Yes, you can actually just have cows and just raise cows and sell their milk or whatever you want to do with them. You can do whatever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. It's the crafting system is so in depth and it never ends. I mean, this I think the highest skill I've seen in a crafting skill would be somebody was like a level 30,000 leather worker, which is just insane. Like, so the crafting is never, and the better you get at something, the better your character will perform in those tasks. So
Did you say level 30,000 leather worker?
yes,
Jesus Christ.
yes, the crafting never ends. It's always going to be something available for you to do. You're never going to run out of stuff to do, and it's always worth your time.
That's wild. It's pretty impressive. I want to see some more environment though. It seems like, I don't know if it's because of the way we're watching the video or what it is, but it's like your draw distance is really short, I think.
I'm gonna sit here and show you the environment in just a second here. Right here, I was trying to show you you can actually under complete quests. If you're doing a quest that you're just bored as hell with, you can actually just turn it in early and just get less experience and just be like, fuck that quest.
I love that. That's amazing.
Or you can do the opposite spectrum and overachieve it. If you're really enjoying your quest, you can do more. Like if it tells you to kill 10, you can kill 15 and get double the experience, or it's 50% more experience.
That's pretty interesting. I
So
like that.
here's where I get to show you the skill. That's the talent tree. As you can see, there's two other things that I'll get that you can unlock there. So
So like level 5, you get to add another skill. You
mhm.
could so you could become, you're already a rogue. This character's a rogue, correct?
No, this warrior type.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you have a warrior now. So if you decided you could, at level 5, you could go battle mage, right? You could add mage to your skill
You
set.
absolutely could. You can just add mage on there and be able to throw fireballs right off the bat.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's very neat. You have the passives over to the right there of each skill thing, which the passives are pretty potent, and they really just develop your class a lot. Like as I started developing passives on my other character, it really ties your character together a lot because it'll play off of other things that you might have chosen.
Now, I see that you've added some skills to your taskbar at the bottom. How holy shit, how intuitive is that? Because I'm looking at it, it's like, what is that? Shift 1, Shift 2, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 0, and a
Hmm.
couple other ones. So how is that, as you're playing, you're using WSD to move? So is that tough to, kind of, do you have to look at your keyboard? Is it easy to, what's it like when you start adding tasks to that?
It's a lot like WoW. You can either click on them or use your hotkeys. So you can either press 1 and 2 to use those, or you can actually click them, which I prefer to click. That way I can move around. But some people move with their mouse and use the hotkeys for spells instead. So it's really just preference. It depends what you're doing too. I kind of do a hybrid of both. So it's not difficult. I mean, after you get the hang of it, it's really not hard to reach up because I mean, you figure where WASD is, and then you can just reach up and press a button pretty quickly.
I'm actually doing that on my keyboard right now to see how it feels to
Yeah,
me.
it's pretty average with MMOs. That's pretty much how every MMOs run. Here's where I start showing you the environment a little bit. You can kind of see what's going on here.
Now, what are the 1 and 2 arrows that are by your feet?
Those are actually your quest trackers. If you go to the arrow, that's where your quests are.
Oh, cool.
So you just kind
So,
of follow those.
and then it looks like you have a mini map, a really vague mini map up at the top right. Is that what that is?
Right, and you can develop that however you want. You can make it bigger. You can make it so it displays more icons so you can see where things are. I choose to just have the quest and use it as a basis because you can bring up the actual map and actually look at it and see. And I like that system. I like having to learn where I am, so I just have it very basic so I can just use it for reference, like giving me a general distance of where a quest might be so I know which one's closer to me.
All right, guys. Well, we're looking at the environment now. It looks beautiful. I'm excited to see more from ArcheAge, Dylan. And as a person that's not going to pay to get into the alpha, it's cool that you're sharing this with me. And everybody at Super Smith Bros, stay tuned. We'll be having more ArcheAge videos coming to you soon. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment.